uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom! Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, hope you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, welcome back to channel. I'm Bushka, and today we're going to go deep on this gun, the Mark 12. Do not mistake me running around hip firing it for me being a potato. I'm a potato anyway, but I was just mucking around there, okay? Give me a break. I'm going to tell you all about the Mark 12, why it's actually quite a good weapon, how it's miscast as a poor man's QBU, the best grip for the gun, the damage it does, basically the bullet speed, everything you need to know about this gun. Its place in the meta, how to use it, how to be more successful with it, and a lot of that is tied into the equipment choices you make with the weapon. Now, this gun is I've seen all kinds of negativity around this weapon. I don't understand it because it's not a bad gun at all. I thought at first that it was a Mini 14 clone, but it's not. It's got a lot of the tendencies of the Mini, but it's also got a couple of special differences that really make it an interesting machine. Number one, it can mount a lower rail attachment. More on that later. We're going to look at all the grips and we're going to break down which is the best grip for the gun in just a second. Number two, its shell velocity is SKS-like, 810 meters a second, instead of the 1,000 meters a second that you get with the big bad boy, the Mini 14. Now, to compensate in terms of balance, they've dropped the shell velocity a little bit, the bullet speed, but they've given it an extra point of damage. So the base damage on this is 47.0. The base damage on the Mini 14 is 45.9. People comparing this with the QBU need to really rethink their headspace, because the QBU, in my opinion, is the best world drop DMR in PUBG Mobile. The only thing better than that as a DMR is obviously the Mark 14, which is a pretty special weapon. The base damage on the QBU is 54.9. The bullet speed on the QBU, 937 meters a second. So it is like 60 meters a second slower than the Mini, and yet it does like 8 more damage. Terrifying. Let's talk about the grips, because this lower rail attachment thing is absolutely super important to being good with the gun. Well, here we go. This is a big surprise, this grip section. I'm going to show you some footage here that's important as well. But suffice to say that if you look straight at this, you'll realize that this half of the screen here is where all the joy is. And surprisingly, the best two grips I could find were the angled and the half, and either of them is in the mix with the light. We know the light grip is an outstanding grip. The thing that you're missing from this section over here, which is the baseline no grip, the vert, and the thumb, is any kind of recoil recovery or horizontal recoil control. The half grip is astounding. Low vertical recoil, really low vertical recoil, and outstanding horizontal recoil. And this doesn't make any sense if you're just thinking in terms of the old world DMR, which is the SKS. The SKS needs to get that vertical recoil down because it's a big bopping 7.62 round. But that's not what we have in our hands here. This is a 5.56 weapon. And 5.56 is beloved by the player base because it's so easy to control the vertical recoil on. And in terms of spraying, that's what you want to have. Well, you can tap the crap out of this thing and it won't hurt you vertically. So what do you get if you've got a gun that has really good vertical recoil, but bad horizontal recoil? Well, you don't care about the vertical. The vertical's taken care of. Just look after the horizontal and the recoil recovery, where it drags it back down to the position where the last shot was fired from. And those guns there, those grips there, are the ones that work for it. Now, I'm going to show you something kind of crazy here. I think this is the one that we're talking about here. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's absolutely crazy. The first two are there, and then the next two, it like jumps all the way to the left of the screen. And that's because it's a single tap DMR. It's a single tap DMR. And what happens if you get a crazy big burst of horizontal recoil and you don't have any recoil recovery, that reticle won't try and track back to the area before it, the area that it was fired from. It'll just keep going on its merry way. Now, it's not going high vertically, but who cares? This gun doesn't have any issues with vertical recoil. You can see gaps in the line. where it jumps, where it has a big jump. Like that again, right there. Too long, don't read. Change your mindset and put it on a light angle to a half grip and watch your performance with this gun improve. Now, this isn't to say that it is the best or the greatest. It has its downfall, and that downfall is the low alpha damage. You're looking at a gun that, although it is 1 point higher than the Mini, it's hardly going to scare people. And a lot of the issues that I had with the weapon was you need a lot of time on target to actually clear it. If you're looking at it in terms of shooting into a level 3 vest, for instance, with the Mark 12, you're going to need to hit a level 3 vest 3 times to get rid of the target. If, a level 3 vest, a level 3 helmet 3 times to get rid of the target. It does 48.6 in a level 3 helmet. That's not a whole hell of a lot. The SKS, for instance, will do 54.63. The QBU will do 56.70. I mean, the Big Bop of the Mark 14 will do 63. So all those guns will 2-tap a level 3 helmet. This will 3-tap. And that extra bullet, that extra round, is tough against good players, because good players, once you hit them, they bugger off. They just move. They don't sit still. And that means that you've got to get people in open fields, or you've got to be really, really hard tapping and work the numbers and drag the recoil down fast to get clears. That's where those recoil helping grips that we talked about before really come in, because if you're going to jump with a vertical grip or something that's left or right horizontally and doesn't get any help, then it can you can see it right there. Like, the recoil moves far more left to right than it does up and down, which is completely out of character for a DMR that has, you know, a 810 meters a second shell velocity. And what I'm really struggling with in all these engagements that I'm not killing the target is getting enough time on the target. I get 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, and it's just not getting it done. In one of these clips, I'm not sure if no, it's not this one, but in one of these clips, I hit the guy in the head and the chest, and it just doesn't really slow him down. It doesn't clear him. So I've hit him in the head and the chest, and he's wearing level 3 gear, I think, and that basically means that I've done 32 into the level 3 vest and 48 into the head, and that's only like 80 damage. I need to get another shot into him to actually get the clear. And people just don't really hang around for that long. Couple that with the fact that you've got 800 meters a second shell velocity instead of 930 or 1000, and it becomes its own set of challenges. You can see how many times this guy has been in Midstein for quite some time, and I'm constantly getting a tap here, a tap there, a couple of shots here, a couple of shots there. This is the kind of situation where what you want is a Kar 98K or an M24. I'm filling the screen up with yellow splashes, but they're chest shots, and so he just keeps buggering off and getting a heal in it. It takes me forever to get this guy, and he's actually the second last guy I clear in this game. What does it do that is a little bit different? Well, it's actually not a bad mid-range gun as a DMR versus as an AR. It's actually quite good as a tap-firing weapon, because like the Mini, it doesn't suffer terribly from vertical recoil. So you can zoom in on this thing at quite close range and tap people out without, say, an SLR's issue. An SLR's great at single target tapping. Ask anyone that's played any TDM. But once you get out to, say, 75 to 100 meters, the SLR's recoil, vertical recoil, is just crazy. That's not the case with the Mark 12. It's not the case at all. There he is over there. So you've got to take your time and get that headshot, bang, bang, bang. Headshot, body shot. Like, clear that target. I do love this map. Like, I'm going to do a Livic review, and that's coming, but I really love this map. I see something moving 280 here, and I just lie down. I'm like, is he there? Did he really pop? There he is. Hang on. And this is the kind of range I'm talking about. Really good at that range, and just see how easy it was to keep the shots on target at that range. If someone wants to duel you at that range, you have a lot of firepower. There is the bloke from Midstein that I couldn't clear is going to walk up here on my left, and there's a guy on my right somewhere, and I'm going to switch to a 2-scope, and then you're going to see a little bit of tomfoolery where I actually use the window here to get the clear on the last guy who's very aggressive. Here we go. Very easy to tap it out. Once you once you get that thing rocking, if you've got time on target or the target's not moving horizontally, like, you can really do good things. So that's the Mark 12. I'll run the numbers up on the screen here for you if you want, so you can see them at the end and you can know exactly what you're waiting for. I mean, all the baseline numbers, the shell velocity, all that kind of stuff. But I would also like to point out that it looks exactly like an M416 in terms of iron sights, which is not a bad thing. And it just performs really, really well for me as a placebo AR. I find it to be quite cool in that role, and I was really surprised by that. And Livik is such a fun map. Like, this is such a fun map. It's such a fun map. There's no two ways around it. This map is absolutely... Oh, hello! Yeah, I love it. Love it. Great gun. A lot of fun. Probably not as much fun as my Kar 98K, but wow, it did the business. And the bipod, when you lie down, is obviously also a big help. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.